plagiarism. As I told you that I'm going to share with you, first of all, two or three stories, real life stories. And one story is about the person called Bob Dylan. No, I don't know whether you know this person or not. Now, this Bob Dylan happened to be a Nobel laureate in music in 2017. And this person was accused of plagiarism. Now, what is the story behind this case is, now there was a journalist called author Andrea Pitzer. Now, she was examining his lecture for the news site Slate. And when she found that his lecture was having a striking similarities between Dylan's quotations and those quotations he picked up from Herman Melville's classic novel Moby Dick. And there were other notes also. That notes were taken from Spark Notes version. Almost 20 references were similar, and he was accused of plagiarism. Can you think of a person who is so creative in his mind, and because he's a Nobel laureate in music, still he is found of, I'll not say guilty, but because the case was going on. Bob Dylan was accused of plagiarism. One story. Second story. Now, there is a person who happened to be a vice chancellor of one of the university called Kamayu University. Can you think of a person who is holding that profile in a university, high profile seat of a university where he is assumed to be protector of the academic ethical issues? However, he himself was found guilty of plagiarism. So what was the story behind this case? Now, there is one paper which was on black holes written by some professor of Stanford University. A paper on black holes written by a professor of Stanford University. What happened? Now, this person, Vice Chancellor, Kamayu University Vice Chancellor, Dr. B.S. Rajput, and his scholar picked up that paper, just removed the name of that professor, put up their name, and got it published. Unfortunately, secrets cannot be hidden. Moreover, there was a complaint against them that this paper is already published by a professor of Stanford University, and there was a complaint of plagiarism. And one committee was constituted under the chairmanship of Justice R. Singh, a former judge of Allahabad High Court. And this report, let me show you that report also. I hope this report is visible to all of you. Dr. Nandan.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir, visible, sir.
Yes, sir, this is just for glimpse. I'm not reading this report. This is just to substantiate my claim that report was submitted to Uttaranchal governor at that time. And he has to resign. Vice Chancellor has to resign. This is a report in which it was established that Vice Chancellor committed a crime of plagiarism. The third example, again, of a Vice Chancellor. A Delhi University Vice Chancellor, Dr. Deepak Painter. You see, what is the story behind this case is? Now, in this case, there is one research scholar. He started a research work with Dr. P. Pardasardi at Hyderabad. And the thrust area on which they started their research work was genetically modifying Indian mustard. Now, unfortunately, after 4 or 5 years, student left that research with Dr. P. Pardasardi, came to Delhi, started a fresh research work, but the topic remains same, which he left at Hyderabad. Unfortunately, where he was supposed to take a consent of Dr. P. Pardasardi, he didn't take the consent of Dr. P. Pardasardi, and he started the work on again genetically modifying Indian mustard. No, story doesn't end here. Unfortunately or fortunately, Dr. P. Pardasardi came to Delhi, started working at Delhi University. It was to his utter surprise that the same research scholar which left Hyderabad now is working at Delhi, and that too same on genetically modifying Indian mustard. He made a complaint because Vice Chancellor was there, Dr. Deepak Painter. Complaint didn't be attended. He went to police station and there was an FIR. Dr. Deepak Painter was arrested, no doubt for a few moments because he got a bail. And ultimately, he was found guilty of plagiarism. And the other side is the student. In the meantime, student went abroad. It is being waited the moment he landed in India, he's going to be arrested because he didn't came back. What I'm saying is, we have gone through these three real life stories. Ultimately, what plagiarism is. Now that we have to understand today. In a simplest definition of plagiarism, if we have to act upon, the plagiarism is the act of presenting another's work or ideas as your own. Now let's say there is some idea by Dr. Nagaraju or Dr. Nandan. I stole that idea, use that idea under my name without giving credit either to Dr. Nandan or to Dr. Nagaraju. Without giving credit. On the whole, it is just I hijacked the idea of Dr. Nandan and I have never given any kind of acknowledgement to them. I use that idea for my own advantage. If that whole incident happens, that incident would be looked as plagiarism, the act of presenting another's work, Dr. Nandan's work or Dr. Nagaraju's work as your own, as Dr. Gurucharan's work. If I take like that, then this incident or this action or this procedure or this process would be known as would be seen as a plagiarism. I'll give.
Sir, your audio is muted.
Sorry. I have unmuted myself. I'll give you two types of documents. I'll throw some light. Now, one type of document is that UGC released one draft on plagiarism in 2017. And then finally, the final regulation of plagiarism, UGC released that document in 2018. When we move further, we proceed further, I'll make some comparison between these two documents, draft 2017 and 2018, so that you can understand well what the definition of UGC gave in draft 2017 and what is the final definition they have given in the final regulation of 2018. So let's go through this definition of plagiarism, which was circulated in draft 2017 to seek academic opinion from academia. Now, this definition has three sentences. Plagiarism means an act of academic dishonesty and breach of ethics. Now, this is one sentence. Second sentence is it involves using someone else's work as one's own. And third sentence is it also includes data plagiarism and self-plagiarism. Now, first of all, let's try to understand whether these three sentences are a part of one term that is called as plagiarism or they have a separate meaning. First of all, let's go through first sentence. Means an act of academic dishonesty and a breach of ethics. Meaning thereby, are we talking about research misconduct? Or we are talking about a violation of ethical conduct? Plagiarism is not a violation of ethical concerns. Plagiarism is a separate issue that we have to make a distinction. Even when we go through the UGC circular of self-plagiarism, I'll give you one sentence over there which will distinguish between research misconduct and the term called as plagiarism. Research misconduct has a separate meaning than plagiarism, my dear. People normally do confuse between these two, that research misconduct and plagiarism are synonyms in themselves. No, these two are a separate, what you call, frameworks. Hence, when we are talking about the research misconduct or breach of ethics or academic dishonesty, these are not a part of plagiarism. The second sentence is, I'll prove it later on. I'll prove it later on when I'll show you the UGC circular of self-plagiarism. Now, second definition is, it involves using someone else's work as one's own. We have already talked about. And third sentence is, it also includes data plagiarism and self-plagiarism. Let me give you one example. Majority of you have completed your PhD. Now, normally what we do, we have objectives, then we have a methodology, then we collect the data and we tabulate that data, compile that data, and then we employ some kind of statistical tools and come out with the inferences. Now here lies what is data plagiarism and what is self-plagiarism. Let's say you collected a data for your thesis. Now, kindly listen to my statement very carefully. You submitted your thesis, and after submission of your thesis, you came out with one research paper from your thesis, got it published. Now, the data which you used in your research paper was similar to that of your thesis. What I'm saying, it is just a reproduction of that data, even that table in the dicto, verbatim, 100% same. The mistake is, when you got your paper published, you never gave a citation of your thesis, that you have taken this data from your thesis. Now, this incident or instance would lead to a data plagiarism. What is self-plagiarism? People will say, because data is yours, you are the author, you are the owner of that data, hence, where is the problem? Problem is not with the collection of data. Problem is not with the ownership of that data. Problem is not with the authorship of data. The problem is that whether that data has gone to public domain, in what context. When you are submitting your thesis, the data has gone to public domain prior to your publication of your paper. Meaning thereby, no, because that data has already gone to public domain, now it is needed to be cited in your research paper. If you don't cite, it will lead to data plagiarism. No. Along with the data, when you are making some kind of description, what normally people call the interpretation, normally people call the analysis. Now that is a kind of content which you have given as try to give a meaning to the data. Now that content is also reproduced by you in that research paper, which is published after submission of your thesis without citation. I'm talking about without citation. Now this whole gamut of events would lead to self-plagiarism. Take it other way around. Take it other way around. That you have not submitted your thesis. Now, before submission of your thesis, you have published a paper. Now, data has gone to public domain. That content has gone to public domain. Now, when you are submitting your thesis, it is mandatory. It is compulsory that you must give citation of that paper in which you have already given that data and content in that paper. Now that data and content needs a citation into your thesis, because thesis is being submitted at a later stage. If you don't do it, it will lead to data plagiarism and self-plagiarism, right? Somehow This was a definition of plagiarism proposed as in a draft 2017 notification.
So if
Now,
we
going through-
change the, sir, I have one query. If we change the number of sample from our thesis and out of that we are making publication.
My just request is that I have all these issues redressed in my presentation.
Okay.
If you allow me, it's just a request, it's just an appeal. If you allow me, let's
Okay.
have my presentation. Please write down your questions. At the end of my session, we will discuss. If
Okay.
that is not resolved,
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
I hope that will serve.
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you very much. So nice of you. Thank you very much. Right. Now, another meaning which I have from Merriam-Webster online dictionary, that meaning of plagiarism is, now that meaning is given in
Hello,
two
sir.
senses.
Hello, sir. Can I ask you one question, sir, here? Hello, sir.
Madam, once the session over, sir will
Okay.
be addressing your
Okay,
questions.
and that is just related to the matter that he had discussed.
Yeah.
My
sir,
just
told me.
earnest request is,
Okay,
that
okay.
please let me complete my presentation. I hope, probably,
Okay.
I hope that majority of your issues might be resolved with my presentation.
Yes, sir.
If
Yes,
those
sir.
are
No
not
problem.
resolved, I'm there to answer it.
Yes, sir. No problem. Thank you.
Right? Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you. So nice of you. Right. Now, Merriam-Webster dictionary has given two types of meanings to plagiarism. Right. There is a minor, what you call very thin difference between these two senses. One is transitive sense, another is intransitive sense. Let's go through the meaning of it. Again, it's a procedural issue. If some change in procedure would be, it has a different sense. Another procedure would be, it has another meaning of sense. Now, transitive sense says to steal and pass on the ideas or the words of another as one's own. Use another's production without crediting the source. Now, intransitive sense means to commit literary theft. Present as new and original. Here lies the difference. To present as new and original an idea or product derived from an existing source. Normally, this word of plagiarism has been derived from one word, that is a Latin word, plagiaris. And this word has a meaning of kidnapper. Right? Now, kidnapper means the person has kidnapped the idea of somebody else and using for its own benefit. Why plagiarism is important and who really cares for it? Now, gone are those days when plagiarism was not being considered. Today, every journal have its own plagiarism policy. Plagiarism is a theft of intellectual property. Plagiarism is considered to be a cheating, and it has consequences also. Now you are going to have some punishments also. You may be debarred from a course. You may have a cut in your what you call marks, which you have obtained under evaluation. Now I am showing you this, what you call a picture. There is a person holding one jar. Please listen to it carefully. And in that jar, some object is there. Now, what is that object? I'm stopping sharing my screen, asking you, what is that object in that jar? You can use your chat box also, up to you. You can open up, unmute yourself. We can have a discussion also. Quickly.
Yeah, participants can.
Quickly, use your chat box or we can have it. Somebody says book. Okay.
Could you show it again?
All
If
right.
you could share it.
I'll show it. Just give me 1 minute. I'll share my screen and then come back.
Yes, please.
Right. I hope my screen is visible.
Yes, sir.
Right. Now, you see, there is a person holding one jar, and in that jar, some object is there. So, what is that object? I don't want you read the statement underneath of it. Somebody, Priyadarshini says, lizard. Oh, that's good.
Sir, it is a design.
Pardon? Mahesh?
It is a design.
It's a
Design.
Okay. Got your point. Okay. Well done. There are 59 persons on board and nobody is responding on chat box. My
Mirror
God.
image, is it the reflection?
It's a
Seems to be mirror.
Oh, mirror. Okay. Somebody says fish. Somebody says book or picture. Somebody says mirror reflection. Okay. That's great. Great. Come on. I need that you are, at least give me an impression that you are involved with me. It's a design. It's a centipede or millipede. Okay. Somebody says mirror image. All right. Good. थोड़ा हिंदी में भी बोल लो भाई आप डरते क्यों गलत हो जाएगा बाउंड्री है 4 दीवारी के अंदर है किसी को बाहर क्या पता आपने क्या लिखा
Sir, mirror image.
Mirror image. Okay. Somebody says mobile also. Somebody says fish.
Yes.
All right.
Can you please show it again, sir?
No object only, sir. There is no object.
All right. I'll show you again. I hope you will enjoy it.
It is a mobile selfie camera.
This is a person holding a jar, and in that jar, somebody is there. You see that you have to watch very closely. Okay, now image. All right. Just an earnest request. Do participate. Even if it's wrong, nobody is going to cut your marks.
The image of cartoon, sir.
It's a cartoon. Okay, Deepak. Thank you. Take your point.
खुद का image है.
Not bad. Okay.
खुद का image है.
खुद का image. All right.
एक छोटे बच्चे का ये है सर
सामने आइए कौन बोल रहा है प्लीज छोटे बच्चे का है बिल्कुल है आपको ये नहीं लगता दिस इज अ काइंड ऑफ फीटस लगता है कुछ ऐसा दोबारा दिखाता हूं दोबारा देखो आप
Let it be there on the screen.
देखो आप मेरा कर्सर देखो लगता नहीं फीटस टाइप है ये आंख है ये हाथ है लगता नहीं
लगता है
जी सर
Sir, looking like a small animal or lizard.
Small animal maybe
Depends on the
कोई fish बोल देगा somebody will say it's a baby pig शक्ल ऐसी है
Sir, embryo is in the jar.
depends on one's perception.
It
Depends on one's perception.
No doubt. But somehow that is not there. Now we will read the statements which are underneath of it. Just try to read it. What I am asking you, same is asked by, now this is a teacher. Teacher asked to the student, class, who can tell me what I have preserved in the jar? Somebody like you says it's a fish. Somebody like says it's a fetus. Somebody like says it's a pig. Somebody like says it's a baby cow. Then he says, no, it's not a baby cow or it's a pig. It's a last student who got caught cheating on one of my tests. Try to understand that now, if you are cheating on one of a test which are deemed to be plagiarism, you will be punished for it. Now you have to be very cautious about it. I'm just trying to sensitize all of you that plagiarism is a very critical area in your research work. Plagiarism is a very crucial area in your research work. And you have to be very cautious. You have to mark a caution against that. Why we should not plagiarize? What is the most important reason not to plagiarize? You see, I have my own argument. If I ask you what is the meaning of higher education, before I move further, what is the meaning of higher education? We all are teaching in colleges or university. Just a layman language. What is the meaning of higher education?
Igniting the minds of people, sir.
It?
Igniting the minds of people.
Good. Agreed. Is it so?
Gaining knowledge, sir.
Above basic
Gaining knowledge.
One by one. One by one. Let's say Sandeep, you want to say something?
The knowledge or the ideas which are above the basic things or basic knowledge.
But if it is a basic, how it is a higher education?
Gaining higher
So it is
knowledge.
above.
One minute, Priyadarshini. Let us have some idea from Dr. Sandeep. Dr. Sandeep, please go ahead.
Sir, the knowledge which is above the basic knowledge.
Which is above the basic knowledge. Good. I take your point. Priyadarshini, you want to say something?
Yes, the same thing I was about to say. That is gaining knowledge.
Sir?
So professional education.
Okay, Zakira, I take your point, but somehow I have some additive.
So making them think of society.
Karthik, please repeat it.
Making them think of society.
Okay.
Sir, it is getting the in-depth knowledge about the particular subject or area.
All right. Now, what you are... Hold on. Please hold on. What all of you are talking about, you are talking about just what is existing knowledge. Analyze something.
Sir, can I, sir?
Yeah.
Sir, helping an individual to realize the potentials that are there within him. Like.
Okay, Akshita. Okay, I take your point. What I'm saying is, now let me conclude here. There is some knowledge which Dr. Sandeep is talking about, basic knowledge. There is some knowledge above of it. No doubt this is above of it. Again, he is talking about existing knowledge. What I'm talking about is, what higher education means is, you have to create a knowledge over and above of the existing knowledge. And that addition of value of knowledge into the existing knowledge, that is the total meaning of your higher education. It is just not existing knowledge, my dear. You have to create over and above of existing knowledge. Now, this creation pattern is a part of your research work. What your research work is, you are adding some theories, models, new knowledge to the existing knowledge. Now, this addition of knowledge is what I'm talking about. This addition is value addition to the existing knowledge. If you are adding that value to the existing knowledge, that is the whole emphasis, that is the whole focus of your higher education. We are not just dealing with existing knowledge, my dear. We are not just dealing with existing knowledge. Beyond that, something over and above of it is, that is creation of that knowledge also. And if we are creating that knowledge, that is the whole meaning and emphasis and procedure or process, whatever you call of higher education is. Now let me come back again. If let's say Dr. Pradeep have created some knowledge, I stole that knowledge, how would Dr. Pradeep would feel about it? Knowledge belongs to Pradeep because he created it. I stole that, used under my name. How Dr. Pradeep would feel about it?
Definitely, because my efforts goes in vain, because someone without work, he is enjoying that, he is taking the credit.
Exactly. You will feel bad about it.
Yes.
You will feel hurt about it. That knowledge belongs to you because you created it, no doubt, for society. But somehow, if that knowledge belongs to Dr. Pradeep, meaning thereby, if you are using that knowledge by anybody, using that knowledge must give a credit to the source of that knowledge.
Yes.
If you are not giving a credit to the source of that knowledge, if you are not recognizing to the source of that knowledge, if you are not acknowledging the source of that knowledge, meaning thereby this whole gamut of exercise would lead to plagiarism.
Yes, sir.
I hope I'm trying to clear this message. Plagiarism is separate from the research misconduct. I'll prove my point again later on. Just now, if you are not acknowledging, giving recognition, giving credit to the original source of that idea, that will lead to a plagiarism. And if I'm doing some research, my idea belongs to me. If Dr. Pradeep stolen that idea without giving credit to me, I'll be hurt. No, this issue leads to philosophical. I'm talking about philosophical. Philosophically, we should not go through that exercise, because this is a kind of educational experience. A creation of new knowledge is a kind of educational experience in which you are involved in research, thinking, and writing. And if somebody stole that educational experience from you, robs that educational experience from you, that will lead to a chaos in your search, what you call world. Hence, we should not plagiarize. Again, I'm giving you one more issue. Please see this, what you call caricature. Now, this caricature says there is a dialogue going on between teacher and a student, and teacher claims that this is a plagiarism. Student claims, no, this is not a plagiarism. Really? You see, there is a dialogue. Really? Someone told me it's not plagiarism if they are dead. How many of you feel that if you have an idea of a dead person, use that idea without crediting the source is not a plagiarism?
No doubt, sir, it is a plagiarism.
Please use your chat box also. Go ahead. And we can have a discussion also. One by one.
Sir, in my opinion, it is also plagiarism, sir.
Shiva Prasad ji, can you give some kind of reason or rationale for it?
Sir, knowledge is created by a person, and no matter whether that person is alive or not, but knowledge is originally created by that person, and that is being used over a period of time. So quite naturally, we have to give credits whether that person is dead or alive, and that we have taken the ideas, knowledge from that person. Nothing should stop us giving the citation.
Shiva Prasad, I agree with you. First of all, I agree with you. Your rationale is well accepted. But there is one situation. Let's say Dr. Gurucharan had some idea, and that idea is stolen by Mr. Shiva Prasad, and Dr. Gurucharan expired. Now, who will object to that if Dr. Shiva Prasad do not give credit to Dr. Gurucharan?
Sir, first and foremost thing is the objection from inside. I am only going to object at whether that person is alive or dead, whether the third person knows it or not makes no difference. I should be ethically bound by my acts and deeds.
This is an ethical issue, Dr. Shiva. I'm talking about plagiarism. Dr. Shiva, no scenario. I built my scenario that Dr. Shiva Prasad do not give credit to Dr. Gurucharan, who has already expired. But the idea belongs to Dr. Gurucharan. Now, under this condition, because he has expired, he is dead. Who will raise objection?
Sir, can I, sir?
Yeah, Dr. Srinivas.
Sir, someone may claim no, sir. Some other person may claim no, sir. That.
Who?
The journal or
Someone
the publisher?
Some ex-person. So this is the work done by Gurucharan sir, but the same work is reflected in the thesis or article of Dr. Shiv Prasad.
अब इस सिनेरियो को आगे लेके चलते हैं डॉक्टर श्रीनिवास आई डू एग्री फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल मैं डिनाई नहीं कर रहा आगे लेके चलते हैं क्योंकि ये प्रैक्टिकल इश्यूज आएंगे आपके पास
सर अपग्रेडेशन इन द सेम टॉपिक
पार्डन डॉक्टर रेणुका
upgradation in the same topic means if the level A has been stopped, then A plus can be taken forward.
Agreed. मैं सिनेरियो और की बात कर रहा हूँ कुछ और सिनेरियो की बात कर रहा हूँ लेट्स से डॉक्टर श्रीनिवास ने बोला कि जिसको मिल गया वो करेगा नो हुआ ये कि now there are two situations. One situation is my work has some kind of publication. Now second situation is my work is not published but my idea lies on my table. It is an unpublished. Idea is mine. अब कौन करेगा उसको क्योंकि पब्लिश तो नहीं है
घर वाले सर घर वाले
कौन घर वाले कैसे
सर जब तक कॉपीराइट नहीं होगा उसको कंसिडर नहीं किया जाएगा सर कोई अगर चुरा भी लिया तो उसका ही हो जाएगा
सर आजकल जो पब्लिकेशन के लिए जाते हैं हम पहले प्लेगरिज्म पूछते हैं जहां भी हम ये स्कूपर्स वगैरह या यूजीसी के लिस्ट पब्लिकेशन के लिए जाते हैं तो उधर तुरंत मालूम होता है कि हम किससे कॉपी कितना परसेंटेज करें बोल के तुरंत मालूम होता है
डॉक्टर जितेश बिल्कुल सही बोल रहे हो मैं वो तभी मालूम होगा जब आपके पास ऑलरेडी पब्लिश्ड वर्क होगा वो सिमिलैरिटी तो उसी के साथ मैच होगा ना, जो भी आपका
हाँ सर
सॉफ्टवेयर होगा उसके रेजर्वॉयर में जितने वो डॉक्यूमेंट्स पड़े होंगे उसके साथ वो मैच करेगा।
सही है
अगर
सर।
वो अब मैं सिनेरियो ये बिल्ड कर रहा हूं कि अगर वो अनपब्लिश्ड है,
It is not plagiarism.
अनपब्लिश्ड
It is
रहा
not,
तो प्लेगरिज्म
not
नहीं होगा सर।
plagiarism, sir.
It is not
अनपब्लिश्ड रहा तो प्लेगरिज्म नहीं होगा सर।
No, sir. If it is unpublished, they have to prove that the legal heights or legal representative have to prove that his work is prior to the published one. If that's so, then it is plagiarized.
okay.
No, it becomes very difficult to prove if it is not published. Only if it is published, somebody can prove it, right?
Thank you very much. You see, now I'll give you one example of my university. Because I remained as a legal affairs in charge of my university almost for 12 years. I was a professor in charge of RTI cell also. From that, I have one a very good illustration for you. Very good illustration. Now, as an RTI in charge, we got one RTI application. So-and-so book is published by Punjabi University, Patiala. There was a title. Kindly give me an agreement, copyright agreement, which was held between author and Punjabi University, Patiala. एप्लीकेशन आ गई, हमने आगे यूनिवर्सिटी में भेज दी। अब डिफरेंट डिपार्टमेंट्स जहां जहां पे भी वो था, हमारी फाइल चलती रही। अनफॉर्चुनेटली हुआ ये कि हमें पता नहीं लगा। अब पहले आपको मैं प्रोसीजर बता दूं हमारी यूनिवर्सिटी में क्या है। किसी ने अगर किताब छपवानी हो तो वो अपना ड्राफ्ट और एक एप्लीकेशन हमारी यूनिवर्सिटी में अथॉरिटीज को दे देगा, चाहे वो डीन एकेडमी को दे, चाहे वो वाइस चांसलर को दे, चाहे रजिस्ट्रार को। वो हमारा एक लिंग्विस्टिक डिपार्टमेंट है, डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ लिंग्विस्टिक्स, उसके पास जाएगा। वो दे विल हैव सम आउटसाइड।
Archana, mute your audio. Archana madam.
She's angry. Archana is angry. Accusing
Archana
somebody.
रे
हो गया। चलो, तो हुआ ये कि एप्लीकेशन आ गई, हमने भेज दिया। मैं प्रोसीजर की बात कर रहा था कि ड्राफ्ट जो आपका किताब छपवानी है और साथ में एक एप्लीकेशन वो अथॉरिटीज को भेजेगा। अथॉरिटीज हमारे एक लिंग्विस्टिक डिपार्टमेंट है, दे विल हैव सम आउटलुक, जस्ट हैव ए ग्लांस। उसके बाद वो एक नोट बनाएंगे, नोट बनाने के बाद वो भेजेंगे हमारे वाइस चांसलर को कि एक कमेटी, हाई पावर्ड कमेटी, दे विल गो थ्रू द कंटेंट ऑफ दैट बुक। कोई एंटी नेशनल तो नहीं है, कोई सिक्योरिटी के खिलाफ तो नहीं है, किसी कास्ट के खिलाफ तो कोई कमेंट्स नहीं है, समथिंग so and so, so and so. And after the recommendation of that committees that this draft is worth publication, then it will go to our production house. That is a publication house basically. They will get it published either through university press or through outsourced. And then it will be placed on university sales counter. Now, this is a process. Unfortunately, there is no copyright agreement between author and registrar of the university. Document में कुछ नहीं है. It is only an implied way that author has requested to get that draft published, and that will be treated as an agreement. पूरा एग्रीमेंट का पार्ट नहीं है, लीगल डॉक्यूमेंट कुछ भी नहीं है। अब फाइल घूमती रही, हमने सभी जगह से पूछ लिया, अल्टीमेटली वी रिसीव्ड के डॉक्यूमेंट नहीं है। हमने बोला ही डॉक्यूमेंट नहीं है तो इसको बोलो क्या करना है। कहते जी ऐसा अगर लिख दो कि देयर इज फाइल इज नॉट ट्रेसेबल, पुरानी, बहुत पुरानी हो गई। हमने कहा बोल ऑल राइट, नाउ देयर आर टू वर्ड्स, डीडीआर एंड एफआईआर। आई आस्क्ड देम टू रजिस्टर डीडीआर। डीडीआर इज डेली डायरी रजिस्टर, एफआईआर इज फर्स्ट इंफॉर्मेशन रिपोर्ट विद द पुलिस। फर्स्ट इंफॉर्मेशन रिपोर्ट में इन्वेस्टिगेशन इज मैंडेटरी, डीडीआर में इन्वेस्टिगेशन इज नॉट मैंडेटरी, बट इट हैज टू बी रजिस्टर्ड विद पुलिस स्टेशन ओनली। हमने बोला कि जो नॉट ट्रेसेबल है इसकी आप डीडीआर पुलिस के साथ रजिस्टर करो। डीडीआर कट के आ गई, डीडीआर कट के आई, हमने लिख दिया कि फाइल इज नॉट ट्रेसेबल, हमने उसको भेज दिया। आफ्टर 8-9 months हमारे पास
अंडर प्राइम मिनिस्टर मेडिकल,
आफ्टर 8-9 months हमारे पास एक कोर्ट की बनी हुई पिटीशन आती है कि भाई आपको समन किया गया है कि इस पिटीशन का जवाब इस समय तक दो। अब पिटीशन में क्या है, वही बुक जो पहले एप्लीकेंट ने बोला था कि ये बुक का यूनिवर्सिटी के पास कोई कॉपीराइट एग्रीमेंट नहीं है, दे हैव पब्लिश दैट बुक, और इसकी कोई भी रॉयल्टी ना ऑथर को ना उसके लीगल हेयर्स को दे रहे हैं। अब हमारे लिए पहले तो समझ में नहीं आया कि यार ये वो केस अलग है, ये केस अलग है, कैसे हो गया। हमने फिर उसको ढूंढना शुरू किया सारी यूनिवर्सिटी में, ढूंढते 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 हम जब उसको एक पॉइंट पे पहुंचे, सारे पॉइंट्स को जोड़ते जोड़ते लास्ट में पहुंचे, तो पता चला ये वही आरटीआई एप्लीकेंट है जिसने पहले आरटीआई के बेस पे जानकारी मांगी थी, एंड वी गेव दैट फाइल इज नॉट ट्रेसेबल, record is not traceable, hence this is a DDR which we have already registered with police station. This is for your information. Now he has gone to court that university do not have a copyright agreement. They have published this book without the notice of either author or the legal heirs, and they are not paying any kind of royalty over on it. फाइनली उसका बता दूं क्या हुआ। हमने पहले तो हमें समझ में नहीं आया, जब हमें समझ में आ गया ये तो पता लग गया कि वी विल लूज दिस केस। अब उसने 20 लाख रुपीस की उस वक्त, आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट 15 years बैक, 20 लाख का कम से कम उसने कॉम्पोजिशन मांगा। साथ में उसने ये मांगा था कि जितनी बुक्स आपके सेल काउंटर पे पड़ी हैं, दो शुड बी डिस्ट्रॉयड बाय फायर इन फ्रंट ऑफ हिम। वी स्टार्टेड अवर प्रोसीडिंग आउट ऑफ द कोर्ट, कंप्रोमाइज करने के लिए हमने आउट ऑफ, क्योंकि अगर केस हारते तो 20 लाख सीधा सीधा देना पड़ता। आउट ऑफ द कोर्ट कंप्रोमाइज में चले गए। फाइनली हमें ये हुआ कि 5 लाख रुपया यूनिवर्सिटी उसको कॉम्पनसेशन देगी, और ये जो बुक्स हैं हमने उसको बहुत ट्राई किया कि यार ये लिटरेचर छप गया, हमें किसी कॉलेज को चैरिटी पे दे देते हैं, आप बोलो किसी इंस्टीट्यूशन को चैरिटी पे दे देते हैं क्योंकि ये छप गया, प्लीज डू नॉट डिस्ट्रॉय इट। बट ही एनफोर्स्ड इट कि आप ये सारी की सारी किताबें, हमारे पास कुछ 20-25 किताबें पड़ी थी उस वक्त, सारी की सारी किताबें उसके सामने फायर के द्वारा, आग के द्वारा साड़ी जाए, एंड ही गेट इट डन। और ये करने के बाद हमें वो सारा रिकॉर्ड कोर्ट में पेश करना पड़ा। कंक्लूजन ये है, अब पब्लिश्ड था या अनपब्लिश्ड था, जो ये डॉक्टर मेघना बोल रहे थे कि यू हैव टू प्रूव इट, एंड ही कुड प्रूव इट that I am a legal heir of my father who have written that book, and got published that book from Punjab University Patiala, and university do not have a copyright agreement. He got it proved. He got it proved that I am a legal son of that family in that court. Right? This is how you have to go through. Even if the person is dead or alive, as Mr. Shiv Prasad was saying, the credit have to be given to the source of that idea. That is my final, what you call, observation regarding it. Alive or dead, it does not matter. If it is not your own, you must cite your source. Now let's go through some terminology, because this is again very, very important. I'll give you 2 types of definition of copyright. One is by Indian Copyright Act and second is by US Copyright Office. I hope you will understand the basic principle of difference between these 2 definitions of copyright given by 2 different countries. Let's go through the definition given by Indian Copyright Act 1957. Copyright is a bundle of rights given by the law to the creators of literary. Kindly underline this word, because जब मैं आपको लास्ट में कुछ songs दिखाऊंगा, ये word will become very important. This word will become very important. Creators. Creators of literary, dramatic, musical and artistic works, and the producers of cinematograph films and sound recordings. The rights provided under copyright law include the rights of reproduction of the work, communication of the work, adaptation of the work, and translation of the work. अब इसमें भी आपको एक एग्जांपल देता हूं। हमारे पास एक किताब छपने के लिए आ गई, हमने किताब छाप ली, छापने के बाद हमने क्या किया, दैट we try to translate in Punjabi. ऑथर ने किताब हमारे से छपवा ली इंग्लिश में, हमारे कुछ लोगों ने बोला कि ये किताब बहुत बढ़िया है, इसको पंजाबी में ट्रांसलेट करके छाप दो। अब हुआ ये कि जब वो पंजाबी में ट्रांसलेट हो रही थी, ऑथर को पता लग गया, ऑथर अगेन रेज दिस इशू दैट यू कैन नॉट डू इट। अब इशू ये बना कि कॉपीराइट एग्रीमेंट। अब देखिए, लीगल टर्म्स में कॉपीराइट एग्रीमेंट इज मैंडेटरी, प्रोसेस में कॉपीराइट एग्रीमेंट इज नॉट देयर, क्योंकि उसने बोला था कि आप इस किताब को छाप दो। अब वो लिखने में कहीं गलती रह गई कि इस किताब को इसी लैंग्वेज में छापो आप। अगर वो बोल देता कि इसी लैंग्वेज में छापो, फिर पंजाबी में ट्रांसलेशन करना वाज नॉट अंडर द कॉपीराइट, क्योंकि उसने लिख दिया कि इस किताब को छाप दो। जब उसने ये बोल दिया किताब को छाप दो, दैट मींस holistic right of publication that comes to Punjab University Patiala impliedly. I'm talking about impliedly. Then we have that right to translation of the work also, and we won the case. I'm talking about that. So it has 2-3 issues. One, what copyright includes? That copyright includes right to reproduction, communication of the work to the public, adaptation of the work, and the translation of the work. Second issue is creators. This word is very, very important. Now let's go to US copyright.
Tina coffee nandro neeru under.
Let's go to US copyright. So I said ghar wale. Okay. A form of protection provided by the laws of the United States to the authors. अब देखिए यहाँ पे आ गए, authors of the original works of authorship. ये देखिए यहाँ पे they have not used word creator, they have used original works of authorship, including literary, dramatic, musical, artistic, and certain other intellectual works. आगे भी इसको पढ़ लीजिए. This protection is available to both published and unpublished work. 2-3 differences. One difference is, सबसे पहले तो आप ये word सुनिए, creator. हुआ ये, Shiv Prasad have some idea, let's say on women empowerment. I stolen that idea, now created some drama on it. Try to understand the situation. Shiv Prasad have some idea on women empowerment. I, Dr. Gurucharan, stolen that idea, created some drama on it. Now, who is an original author in this case, and who is a creator in this case? My opinion is, original author is Shiv Prasad, and creator is Dr. Gurucharan. Now, when I go through Indian Copyright Act, copyright gives protection to creator. Now, what is the role of original author? What I'm saying is, as per Indian Copyright Act, creator do include original author. Creator do include something after that which is created on that idea. That person is also have that protection under creator. But when you go through US copyright, here the original author have its own protection. Creator will not have protection under copyright. See, this is the difference. This is the difference between US copyright and another is in Indian Copyright Act, there is a registrar of copyright. When you go through a registration of that copyright, you get that copyright. Now, this is what you call is a written published copyright. And if there is unpublished work, probably you may, I'm using this word may, you may not have that kind of protection which is available under US copyright, because they have specifically written unpublished work will have that protection also. But in Indian copyright, this is not written anywhere. This is not written anywhere. There is one word which is called as fair use. Now, this fair use is what? I'm reading only a few words. Use of limited portions of the work that has copyright without having to have a permission from the original author. What does it mean? It does mean हम सारे के सारे मान लीजिए, we are all teachers. मैं भी कॉमर्स का टीचर हूँ, मैनेजमेंट का टीचर हूँ, फाइनेंस का मेरी वो है एक्सपर्टीज. अब मैं पहले दिन क्लास में गया, सबसे पहले क्लास में गया, फाइनेंशियल मैनेजमेंट मैंने पढ़ाना है, फाइनेंशियल मैनेजमेंट का पेपर है वो मैंने पढ़ाना है. मैंने खान एंड जैन की किताब निकाली, सबसे पहले दिन मैंने स्टूडेंट्स को बोला कि आई विल यूज दिस बुक खान एंड जैन. अब rest of the semester I need not to repeat time and again that I am using Khan and Jain book, because use of limited portions of the work that has copyright without having to have permission from original author. क्योंकि सबसे पहले दिन मैंने उसको एक्नॉलेज कर लिया कि खान एंड जैन का मैं किताब यूज करूंगा, जो भी मैं कंटेंट आपको पढ़ाऊंगा दैट विल बिलोंग टू खान एंड जैन. लिमिटेड पोर्शन ऑफ द वर्क, क्लास में आप लिमिटेड पोर्शन पढ़ाते हो, that doesn't need to have a permission from the original author, because पहले ही दिन आपने उसको क्रेडिट दे दिया. और मान लीजिए कि सेमेस्टर में महीने के बाद, 1.5 महीने के बाद आपको लगा कि नो, some other topic in some other book like financial management by I.M. Pandey, आप वो पढ़ाना चाहते हो. अब आप क्लास में आओगे, स्टूडेंट्स को बताओगे कि भाई आज का टॉपिक दैट बिलोंग्स टू I.M. पांडे, इट डज नॉट बिलोंग टू खान एंड जैन. और अगर आपने नहीं बताया, वो टॉपिक I.M. पांडे वाला स्टूडेंट कंसिडर करेंगे कि ये टॉपिक खान एंड जैन ने ही लिखा है, विच इज इनकरेक्ट, विच इज प्लेजराइज्ड, बिकॉज आपने वो क्रेडिट जो I.M. पांडे का था, वो क्रेडिट आपने खान एंड जैन को दे दिया, विच इज रॉन्ग. इस फेयर यूज में जब आप एक किताब सारे सेमेस्टर में पढ़ा रहे हो, फेयर यूज में यू हैव सम काइंड ऑफ प्रोटेक्शन, use of limited portions of a work that has copyright without having to have a permission from original author. यहां पे आपको वो प्रोटेक्शन मिल जाएगी, क्योंकि आपको बार बार ये बताने की जरूरत नहीं है कि आप खान एंड जैन की ही किताब यूज कर रहे हो. एक बार बता दी, फिनिश्ड. Let's come through types of plagiarism. First type of plagiarism is copying. Now I'll run through. You see, this is an example. Read this example. There is an inverted comma. It starts from children are totally insensitive. There is a total para, and this para ends at the end or weak. Inverted comma close. Copy this full para. Paste this full para into your written material, because that is your written material. When you are pasting this written material without citation, this kind of copying and pasting, full para without any change, that kind of plagiarism will be called as copying. Another type of plagiarism is patchwork plagiarism. Patchwork plagiarism means there is a para again. You change the language of a few words. Situation, I am talking about situation, because that is created as a patchwork. You have created that patchwork by changing a language of few statements, few words. Rest of the para remains same. Now, under this condition is one, rest of the para remains same, but when you are changing the language, meaning of changed language would be of the earlier language. Meaning thereby, earlier language and the changed language would have a same meaning. In that case, you have to give a citation. And if you don't give a citation, even if you have changed the language, but meaning remains the same, in that case, that would be treated as a plagiarism, and that plagiarism would be treated as a patchwork plagiarism. Now, third type of plagiarism is paraphrasing plagiarism. What is that paraphrasing? It is somewhat what you call different from patchwork. Now, in patchwork, few words are changed. In paraphrasing, majority of the words are changed. Few words remain same. Now, when majority of the words remain same, now my condition is the meaning remains same. Idea remains same. Because idea remains same, idea belongs to that author. Hence, even if you have changed the language, if idea belongs to somebody else, change of language still needs a citation, because idea belongs to somebody else. Right? This kind of plagiarism would be known as paraphrasing plagiarism. Now, another type of example of plagiarism is unintentional plagiarism. majority of you people are using, let's say, Microsoft Word. And in Microsoft Word, there is one command on a ribbon is called as reference. And when you are using that command of reference, there will be an opening of window, and in that window, there will be a number of columns. Name of the author, name of the article, name of the journal, and issue number, volume number. And then that window will also ask you method of citation. There are lot many methods of citation, lot many methods. You have to take one. My suggestion and advice to you, all of you, is once you use one type of method for one document, that method should be used uniformly throughout that document. You must not change for one citation, separate method. For another citation, separate method is not allowed. Now, question here is, when you have filled that columns, that will create one list in itself, a reference list. And it will also create a link in your running document. Now, let's say in another part of your document, you want to use the same reference which is already there in the list. And then you have to tick that reference. But when you are ticking that reference, you ticked a wrong reference. मैं दोबारा हिंदी में बोलता हूँ अब वो रेफरेंस वाली लिस्ट पहले तो कॉलम आ गए कॉलम जब आप दोबारा लिखते जाओगे तो वो आपसे दोबारा पूछेगी कि इसी लिस्ट में से टिक करना है या सेपरेट नया लिखना है जब नया लिखना है तो वो विंडो सेम होगी कॉलम में ऑथर आर्टिकल नेम जर्नल नेम इशू नंबर वॉल्यूम नंबर मेथड सो एंड वो बट अगर पहले लिस्ट बनी हुई है तो वो पूछ सकता है कि बनी हुई लिस्ट में से आपने टिक करना है अगर वो है लेट्स से आपने वहीं से टिक करना है बट टिक करते हुए आपने गलत ऑथर का रेफरेंस टिक कर दिया ये भी होगा और इस वक्त दिस काइंड ऑफ प्लेजरिज्म बिकॉज क्रेडिट सही को देने की बजाय आपने गलत बंदे को दे दिया the credit which was supposed to be given to correct person has been given to a wrong person. Now, in this case, that kind of plagiarism would be called as unintentional plagiarism. The only thing in this case is this is not so grievous because your intentions have been there to give credit to the author, original source. But unfortunately, there was some kind of negligence. So while considering the penalty, you will be more sympathetic. You will not be so rigorous. That is the only difference in this case, unintentional plagiarism. There is fifth type of plagiarism which you call as plagiarism of authorship. I have given you one example of my university, the paper of what you call black holes. Remove the authors, put your own name, get that paper again published. This will be called as plagiarism of authorship. Now, last type of plagiarism is self-plagiarism. I have already discussed in detail. Let me have some feedback also. Right. Now, question in this case is, now what I'm intending to discuss now is, that is the UGC notice circular on self-plagiarism. First of all, see this notice. I hope this notice is visible to all. I hope this notice is visible to all.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Just to substantiate that this notice was 30th April 2020. The final regulation of plagiarism was issued in 2018. The regulation about self-plagiarism was issued later on. Now, this notification I'm going to share with you. I have reproduced this notification in my PPT. Let's go through that. Now, I'll prove what is the research misconduct and what is plagiarism also. Right. First of all, what self-plagiarism is? Reproduction in part or whole of one's own previously published work. Thesis, research paper. Your own. गुरचरण का ही thesis है, गुरचरण का ही research paper है. without adequate citation and proper acknowledgement. अगर आपने थीसिस बाद में सबमिट किया, थीसिस में से पेपर पहले पब्लिश कर लिया, अब वो पेपर का डाटा और कंटेंट आपने रिप्रोड्यूस किया, रिप्रोडक्शन थीसिस में, क्योंकि थीसिस बाद में सबमिशन हो रहा है, you have to give citation of your earlier paper. You have to give a proper acknowledgement of that paper into your thesis. Why? And claiming the most recent work. अब most recent work तो नहीं है, most recent work thesis में नहीं है, क्योंकि वो पेपर पहले रिसर्च पेपर में चला गया, तो वो जो most recent work पेपर में निकल गया, thesis में नहीं है। अब that is the rationale behind it, claiming the most recent work as न्यू एंड ओरिजिनल। अब जब पेपर में गया तो उस वक्त वो मोस्ट रिसेंट वर्क था, उस वक्त वो न्यू एंड ओरिजिनल वर्क था, बट जब वो रिप्रोड्यूस होके आपके थीसिस में आया, उस वक्त ना तो वो मोस्ट रिसेंट वर्क था, ना वो न्यू एंड ओरिजिनल वर्क था। इसलिए व्हाट इज रिक्वायर्ड इज यू हैव टू गिव ए एडिक्वेट साइटेशन एंड प्रॉपर एक्नॉलेजमेंट फॉर टेकिंग एन एकेडमिक एडवांटेज which amounts to text recycling. Reproduction को उन्होंने वर्ड यूज किया text recycling, and that is also known as self plagiarism and is not acceptable. अब उन्होंने इसको 5 एलिमेंट्स में आगे बांटा. They have split this text recycling into 5 components or 5 elements. Let's try to understand what are those elements. Republishing the same paper already published elsewhere without due and full citation. अब आप समझिए, शिव प्रसाद का एक पेपर है, अब वो पेपर इंडियन जर्नल ऑफ कॉमर्स में छप गया, अब वो मैनेजमेंट एकेडमी का जर्नल है, जर्नल ऑफ मैनेजमेंट एकेडमी, वहां पे उन्होंने दोबारा छाप दिया 100% विदाउट ड्यू एंड फुल साइटेशन। आप समझिए अब इसको, 100% पेपर इंडियन जर्नल ऑफ मैनेजमेंट में छपा, जर्नल ऑफ कॉमर्स में छपा, अब जर्नल ऑफ मैनेजमेंट एकेडमी में 100% शिव प्रसाद का ही पेपर, शिव प्रसाद के नाम पे सेम पेपर दोबारा छप गया विदाउट ड्यू एंड फुल साइटेशन। नाउ दिस विल लीड टू प्लेजरिज्म। और मान लीजिए अगर शिव प्रसाद ने इंडियन जर्नल ऑफ कॉमर्स का रेफरेंस देके जर्नल ऑफ मैनेजमेंट एकेडमी में दोबारा पेपर छाप दिया, वो प्लेजरिज्म नहीं है, वो सेल्फ प्लेजरिज्म की डेफिनेशन से बाहर हो जाएगा, बट रिसर्च मिसकंडक्ट की डेफिनेशन के अंदर आ जाए।